Hello and welcome to Tech Circle. This is Shweta and you're listening to Tech This Week, where we bring you a wrap of the major developments of the week from the space of tech startups, enterprise technology and policy. Today I'm joined by my colleagues Payal Ganguly, Anand J and Supriya Roy. The fight against coronavirus continues with no end in the sight, and the government's app Arogya Setu, which was set up to help people self-assess their risk of being infected with COVID-19, has had more than 90 million downloads since its launch on April 1.
But Shweta, wasn't there a recent development also which spoke about security glitches? Because we've also been reading about, two different school of thoughts about installing Arogya Setu, and also it's been made mandatory, right, by the government.
Yeah, by various government, the armed forces, it's mandatory there, and also private organizations like Zomato and all have made it mandatory. But yes, the app updated its privacy policy in say around just 10 days of its launch, and now there's a French ethical hacker who goes by the Twitter handle name Elliot Alderson, who has called out to the app developers on a potential privacy breach. He claims that there's a security flaw in this Arogya Setu app, which was found, and it could potentially compromise the privacy of 90 million Indians.
Is just an India-specific problem? I mean, I have seen reports saying that there has been a similar app issue in UK as well, while the government is tracking companies and individuals and all that. So, I mean, do you see there is a larger problem with COVID being used as a justification to do citizen surveillance?
In the UK scenario, so their counterpart app, which is called the NHS COVID-19, reportedly uses Bluetooth low energy signals to log into social interactions between the users, and their algorithm then tries to automate some sort of contacts tracing to identify infection risks. So this has apparently raised some eyebrows with the UK Human Rights Committee, but there hasn't been a breach as such reported by the NHS COVID-19. But yes, it looks like that most of these apps are coming with concerns of data. Also, the government has responded to Alderson's tweet saying that there's a team behind Arogya Setu which is working consistently on this, and has written a one-page statement clarifying that no personal information of any user has been proven to be at risk for now. So looks like a standard statement which could come, but I don't know how it's going to turn up. I mean, if it is really safe.
Shweta, as we speak right now, this Elliot guy on Twitter, he's actually made another tweet about how the NHS app in the UK has gone ahead and made the entire code open source. So he's actually like quote unquote said, no, now it's your turn, Arogya Setu, to do the same thing. Moving on, We had a couple of big earnings announcements from IT companies this past week. There was HCL, Cognizant, Tech Mahindra. So which one really just saw the most impact though, Anand?
See, actually, Tech Mahindra was the previous week on Thursday. This week saw HCL and Cognizant announcing their first quarter results or March quarter results. Cognizant follows a calendar year for their financial accounting. So their year starts from Jan till December, not like what we see for Indian companies. But HCL, like usual, they have reported the highest growth rate of all Indian companies at 16% for the year, financial year, while Infosys was at 8%, TCS and Wipro at around 5%, but Cognizant was the lowest at just 2.8% or something. So the problem is the company has been facing several issues. It withdrew from some business segments last year. So that also has had an impact. Then the company right now is seeing a Maze ransomware attack. So that also had some financial impact. The Cognizant net profit actually tanked by 17% during the March quarter. So actually Tech Mahindra also saw a similar fall in net profit, but analysts believe that it's going to be a temporary phenomenon, and the company which gets 40% of its revenue from telecommunications will see a huge advantage going into the third and fourth quarter of Indian financial year. So they will see increased demand from all these telecom because of working from home for all these employees. So that will actually help them boost their revenue and profit margins later this year.
Also, Anand, how are the customers and companies addressing the lockdown challenges?
So there are interesting initiatives that the companies have taken to address these issues. For instance, IBM has extended the lifespan of some of its software products so that customers don't need to buy new products and they can conserve cash like that. All of these companies have taken measures so that they can accelerate the cloud journey. They can address customers and as well as their own employees accessing their software or cloud for several customers, and so that transactions are seamless and things like that.
Got it. Also, Anand, there was a Gartner report that came out this week, right? And tech CEOs are probably no exception to us, similar to us, where they were not prepared for the COVID crisis, and a lot of them are fearing the upcoming economic recession, which is in store for a lot of us. So, also, I think it stretches to the companies which they run, and we have seen some major layoffs among the global consumer tech giants like Uber and Airbnb, as well as Indian firms like CureFit. So, what do the India numbers for the global firms look like? Any clarity on those?
While there's no clarity on the India specific numbers, since there are multiple figures making the rounds, in media of late, at large, Uber laid off 3,700 full-time employees from these areas of customer support and recruitment. The SEC disclosure was made hours away from the first quarter results announcement, and it posted a rise in revenue for the first quarter, which was majorly supported by a jump in the food delivery orders from the Uber Eats business. CEO Khosrow Shahi said these severe cost-cutting methods would ensure that the company stayed on track, on the way of its profitability plans. Now, ride hailing had dropped by about 80% in the month of April. I was just reading this Bank of America estimate from earlier today about how the US economy is likely to lose 22 million jobs in just April. It's almost a reminder from the days of the Great Depression.
Also, Supriya, how have the Indian firms handled the messaging around the layoffs?
Shweta, layoffs coverage this week, in fact, started off with health and fitness startup CureFit when we spotted more than a couple of social media posts from several employees expressing concerns on trainers and housekeeping staff being laid off, with on the spot phone calls. The company told us that the lockdown has affected all of its business offerings and it does not see the situation improving for quite some time. It then decided to close operations in small towns in India and some of its businesses in the United Arab Emirates. There is never a silver lining with such developments, but it will be something to see as and when the company further leverages this whole digital-only product narrative on its otherwise very offline-based services. In contrast, Shweta, coming to your question, Airbnb, which is the home rental platform in the US, they took a higher road in a way to break off their set of terrible news in a public memo. 1,900 people lost jobs, which made up for a quarter of the workforce in the company globally. Given how the travel and tourism activities has halted world over. A few hours ago, in fact, CEO Brian Chesky also released this online directory of some of the employees that were laid off. I didn't notice any employees from the company's offices in Goa or Gurugram in the directory, but all in all, there's no way to sugarcoat such information. But I guess it made for some sort of gesture, if I may put it that way.
And also, just moving on from the topic, one of the beneficiaries of COVID-19 crisis, which is ongoing, has been the telecom companies when it comes to the work from home, increased demand for broadband at homes. And the week saw Reliance Jio again making a splash, garnering investments from Silver Lake and Vista. Payal?
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
The morning announcements by Reliance are the new normal, as are a lot of things. They did it again today. They sold 2.35% stake in the Jio platform to the American private equity firm Vista Equity Partners. The deal was for rupees 11,367 crore or $1.5 billion to be precise, and it values the Reliance Jio subsidiary at 4.91 lakh crore, which is a slight premium, which is around 0.5% premium over the Silver Lake deal, which was announced earlier this week. So overall, Jio platform has raised close to $8 billion or in Indian currency, 60,596 crore over the last 3 weeks, selling a total of 13.8% stake, including to Facebook and American PE major Silver Lake, as well as to Vista announcement, which happened today. So, however, when the Silver Lake announcement was made, it was made at a 12.5% premium over the Facebook Reliance deal.
So, I mean, why is such sudden, investments coming from external PE partners as well as Facebook investing in Reliance? Is there some sort of plan behind all those investments? I mean, RIL also has a large debt, mostly on account of expansion of geo towers and all that. So, I mean, is it part of any reducing debt burden kind of a deal for Reliance?
You're right, Anand. So, if you recall, Mukesh Ambani had previously said that the company was moving towards being debt-free by March of 2021. So, he made this announcement in around August 2019 that they had a net debt of about $20 billion and that it would be cut to zero by 2021. Going by the looks of it, they would probably reach it sooner than, they might not have to wait as long as March 2021. So what we are also seeing is that Ambani seems confident, and during the company's earnings, which was announced on May 1st, he also said that more Jio and Facebook-like deals will be announced during the last week, which has actually happened with the Silver Lake and Vista announcements. Also, it is to be noted that Jio announced its largest rights issue as part of its earnings. And the company said that it was looking to raise around rupees 1.04 lakh crore by the June quarter. Industry pundits say that this probably paves the way for the Reliance Jio subsidiary of RIL to go for an IPO sometime in the near future. It is also necessary that they focus on the digital business, because digital services now accounts for 23.9% of the company's operating profit, which is way up from 15.9% in the year ago period. Also, apart from its retail business, the company's overall consumer business accounted for 36% of the total operating profit.
I mean, which were the other large investments that have been happening in the technology space, especially in the startup sector? There seems to be some momentum for some sectors that have become critical for the ongoing lockdown, like grocery delivery or online education and things like that. So, I mean, do you see any pickup in those investments?
Right, Anand. Though the pickings are somewhat slim, the total amount across the deals stood at $46 million. And as you pointed out, right, the vital sectors in the current situation seem to have managed to raise fundings. There was logistics company Loadshare that announced its Series B round of $13.2 million this week. And they said that they'll be using the funds for new initiatives, including hyperlocal deliveries. There was also $9.6 million growth round in telemedicine platform DocsApp from BNext and Fujian Capital. There was multilingual voice automation platform Vernacular AI, which raised $5.1 million from Xfinity Ventures and IN Fund. Also, B2B edtech firm Class Plus raised $9 million from RTP Global. So clearly, the national lockdown and current challenges will favor new models over the other ones.
That's right, Shweta. Looks like a lot of focus on the hyperlocal as well as edtech space. We were, in fact, we've heard from the investors. We've spoken to as part of our Capital Call podcast, which airs on Saturdays, that digital businesses will definitely benefit from the ongoing situation, as compared to businesses which had physical touch points, which will take a while to come back.
So with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Tech This Week. Do stay tuned in and logged on to techcircle.in for more news and updates. Many thanks for listening.